Okay, so this is Jim Bremner, president at CTOA, and lots of big changes coming. What I want to do is to thank our sponsors. One is RBG Security, that's helped us with having the studio and the audience. Uh, you know, it means a lot, and it's really helping us move forward. One of our other longtime sponsors is Hudson Supplies, or Hudson Tactical out of Montreal, and what they do is what is really unique is I've worn every piece of load-bearing vest gear in the world for over 30 years. And this is something called Flashbang. And it comes in all the colors. It comes in black, OD green, coyote. And it's made of polymer. And what's unique about it is even with a full loaded bag, you can actually invert them. Not that I'd wear it that way, but that's how much retention it has. And they're indestructible. We've run them over with Humvees. We've shot at them with 5.56. They do come in 5.56. They also come in 308, 7.62 by 51, and they come in 6.8 as well. My favorite part of it is just simply on the back here, how easy this is to put through your PALs or MOLLE webbing. It's too easy. You don't have to get a spoon out and bend it all around. It's just, again, this is my favorite part of the whole thing. And the other thing that's unique about it is you can actually stack these. So if you imagine this one's close to on your load-bearing vest, inside one, and then you can stack a second one like Lego blocks. And also comes in for your handguns. It does everything. The handgun mags holders will do everything except 45 ACP. So if you have a SIG, you've got a Glock, you've got a Beretta, it will hold all of those mags. And again, same retention, and you can stack them up, have 2 pistol mags on the front if that's something that you were looking at. And this particular one is actually for your emergency mag on your hip. And the ones that are for your PALs or MOLLE webbing just have a couple ears out here to help it prevent it from falling over when you lean forward. So check that out, Fast Mag, and that comes from Hudson Supply. Let me get that right, in Montreal, and all their information's on the web. We have some other friends that are supporting us. And this is Canadian Access to Firearms sort of newspaper. It comes out once a month, and it's for our friends up in the Yukon. But it has lots of great articles about current firearm legislation, where to buy and sell firearms, and it's a great newspaper. And the gentleman's a really nice guy, and so check that out. It's a great paper, a lot of information on firearms. And like I said, it's current with all the the present laws and bans and that type of thing. So good information there. Finally, I'm really excited about this. This is called Flashbang Magazine, and a friend of mine that was a French paratrooper and had a hobby as a photographer. And Dom started to go out with teams and take photos. And this is like a very slick, high gloss magazine. And he's been with teams all over the world. Now, with that said, if you were interested in having your team on in this magazine, that's entirely possible by contacting us, and I'll get a hold of Dom. And that's entirely possible that your team could be featured in that. The last thing I'm going to finish with here, if you look behind me, we have the patch wall. And so the idea is that if you send us your patch, we'll send you our patch. Okay, so we want to get as many different agencies and teams. There we go. Everything's backwards in the camera. But again, so this is our patch trade. And as you can see behind me, we've got a lot of manufacturers, but not so many police agencies. So we'd be thrilled if you could send a team patch or something from your home agency, and we'll send this to you in the mail. So that's all I've got in terms of plugging things at the moment. So I'm going to have Craig sit down again, and we're going to talk a little bit about his upcoming PTSD Zone. And there you go. We're close.
Hello again, everybody.
Here. Okay, so Craig, you've got an event coming up at the end of May.
Yes, May 29th, 30th, 31st at the Ajax Convention Center in Ajax, Ontario, Canada. And it's going to, we have a ceiling of, or a maximum room capacity of 150 people. Spaces are filling adequately right now, but we'd really like to get more people to the venue. You can go to www.ptsdzone.com to find out more information. You can also find the conference on eventbrite.ca. You can get the link there. You can also email us at contact@ptsdzone.com. And you can follow us on all the social media. My personal Twitter account is cwpeddle. And we post there regularly. Instagram, ptsdzone.com. And you can find us on LinkedIn, or find me on LinkedIn. We post a lot there. It's going to be a great conference. We have 3 keynote speakers. One is Dr. Morez. She's a clinical psychologist who deals with all things trauma, all things PTS, all things depression, anxiety, workplace injuries. Really is a fantastic doctor. Has helped thousands of people. Some of you might even be watching this and thinking, you know what, I'm going to attend that conference just to take things in. You can participate as much as you want at the conference. And again, like we talked about last time, Jimmy, is that this is meant to have people come together and speak in person, be shoulder to shoulder, talk to people, say, hey, you know what, I never thought of that. Or when Jimmy was talking about this concept of time during his presentation, and it really resonated with me, that in so much as maybe I'm being a little too hard on myself. Maybe I'm being too difficult. Maybe I'm letting those demons, hit my hippocampus and be on the front of my brain all the time and really impact what I do on a daily basis. We're going to talk about suicide, which we know is an epidemic in law enforcement, in the military, and with our firefighters, and with our EMS personnel, and is not just unique to those professions. There are people who choose death by suicide because they feel as though they have nowhere else to go.
Almost an escape.
It is
people want to
indeed.
take a rest from all the things that are going through their head.
It is
And I
indeed.
know that's been documented with Vietnam. That they almost saw it as a rest to get away from. Again, all that the horror show that's in your head.
Yeah, it's true. And part of escaping that horror show sometimes is the horror show that it brings to your family.
Vicarious traumatization.
That's right. The vicariousness of it all is a big thing. Back to the Shogun warriors, back to the samurai, back to, I mean, it's a story as old as time, that if you feel as though somehow vicariously you've brought shame on your family, or shame to yourself, to your agency, to your team, to your wife, to your husband, to your partner, to your children, a lot of people take that, what they might deem as to be the noble way out. So our second keynote speaker will be speaking about those things, Dr. Harrington. She'll be speaking specifically about suicide, both tendencies, ideations, planning, and then of course, having it come full circle where a lot of people choose death by suicide for the reasons that we just touched on right here. So you don't want to miss this conference. It's $275 plus taxes. If there are any agencies or any institutions listening to this, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not really. Your per diem expenses will be saved. Per diem, the fancy word for money out of pocket or having to give meal allowances. Breakfast and lunch are both covered at the conference. So it works out to about $91, $92 a day plus tax for the agency.
And it's buy for $90.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. You're going to spend at least $200-$300 on Amazon when you go on, right? So, it's a great opportunity to invest in your people. There seems to be a lot of what I'll put in parentheses as lip service from a lot of agencies that somehow, your warriors are wounded. Well, your warriors aren't wounded. There seems to be this great myth out there that it's an epidemic that's running through policing agencies and the military. While in one sense that is true, but I think we're tracking it a little bit better now. I think
Oh,
we're
100%.
recognizing it a little bit better now, where people are willing to come forward to, boots on the ground, or to outreach programs, peer support programs, on their platoons or in their battalions, where, you can talk with a buddy and say, hey man, you had a bit of a challenge there with that. This is what I'm feeling. What are your
Just
thoughts?
normalizes it.
Right.
Right.
And I think I know that this conference is going to be an awesome 3-day event, that you don't want to miss and your people don't want to miss. We have some of the greatest subject matter experts, those who will speak anecdotally, that will also speak personally, and that will also speak academically about the topic. So it's $275 well spent. So get off your butts and register.
So I'll just close with PTSD is not something you can solve online. You need the connectivity of people. And the more people that you're around that have the similar circumstance, the better you're going to feel. So try and get out to the conference. I think you'd be happy that you did. Anything else, Craig?
No, I agree.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody. Be safe and take care of you.
Okay. See you next time. Out.